I don't know if it's Halloween or election week, but it's some kind of holiday. And I wanted to investigate the tricks and treats going on. Look, garbage, the future of garbage. Now, wait a minute, did they coordinate it for Halloween to be in orange garbage bags? I could have dressed up as garbage. But look at this. This is Deep Eddy. Kind of stole the idea from Where is Waldo? Why is it made to go unnoticed? It's Austin, Texas vodka. I don't really get it. But anyway, somebody had a very good suggestion. And I hope people understand. I'm not saying nobody can ever suggest anything to me. It's these people who say, you need to XYZ. Or why isn't Jason, investigating something that seems like obviously set up to incriminate him? Somebody sent me a polite message saying, hey, a lot of people are reporting weird shenanigans around these voting sites. Now, I came over here because I was pretty sure this is one of these vote a key places. See, this is the thing. It's hard to know. They have made it tricky to figure out. I mean, I know where the one is near my apartment, and we'll go by that too, because it makes you enter your address. And I mean, obviously you could go find somebody else's address around here and enter it, but it's not like they give you a list. Now that's valet parking there. It used to be around here. I think either at the hospital or maybe there's a school down here somewhere. There usually is a voting thing around here. I'm not seeing it right now. Well, the other thing that we can do is just evaluate the Halloween aspects of New York today. I know people like to see what's going on, and it's a beautiful day, so I want to get a walk. Excuse me. Do you know where there's a voting thing around here? Huh? Is there a voting station around here for early voting? Usually there is voting here, right?
At the hospital? I'm not too sure. Maybe
it's with the church, I think, right?
The church, maybe. Church, maybe. I know it's schools too, but I'm not too sure.
Do you know where there's one around here for voting?
Nah.
All right, thanks. All right, so maybe I'm misremembering that, but I thought there usually is a place to vote a key, but I'm wrong. So we'll go back up by, there's one on 28th Street. I looked that up, but it's not like they give you a website where there's a list of all of them. You'd have to get involved in some hunting around. But this person said, hey, there's a lot of shenanigans. Are there any early voting places around you, and have you noticed anything weird? And I said, that's a good point. I don't know. And it is, we've been having, can you have an Indian autumn? If you have an Indian summer, I could have worn shorts today. It's like 75. It's beautiful, look at that. Not a atmospheric aerosolized injection in sight. Oh, maybe that is. When I left the apartment, Joe Rogan was interviewing J.D. Vance. I can't believe how stupid Carmela Harris is to just completely avoid that. They're going to cheat. I'm very concerned. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, no, you guys are idiots. Everybody likes Kamala Harris. Wow, that's a stupid lady trying to kill somebody. Geez, that was amazing. That lady in the Mazda's a nut. Wild. So also wanted to let everybody know that we're going to have a Twitter, an X space. If people aren't following on X, you're missing so much of the excitement. Get on there at x.com and on at JG_CSTT. People can check it out. Yeah, people are saying something about Joe Biden walked out with a panda, and there's something about that I think I don't know. I wonder what she thought of the assassination. Something maybe they're punching sexual, oops, you're not supposed to say that word, I think. Punching victims in the eyes or something. Here's another thing. Oh, it went away. They were advertising some Batman video game on the Mark Zuckerberg virtual reality headset, which seems to be slamming Apple on their virtual reality headset. I don't know how many people want that. But I am quite concerned that there's going to be cheating there on election day. Yeah, Joe called us garbage, people are commenting on. They should have a website that lists them, I agree, but that wasn't easily found. And I mean, you know, it says put in your address, and I put in mine, and it was like, okay, yeah, I know that one on 28th Street, but I thought there was one down here. Anyway, the plan was get the one down here, then go up there. Whatever, we'll sort it out. There was another really amazing discovery this morning in the world of counter lawfare and identifying social engineers. So yeah, sorry, that Twitter space, X space, 3 o'clock, right after this, John Cullen, Ian Carroll, discussing the Las Vegas shooting. John is saying, hey, we should reopen this investigation with the FBI because Stephen Paddock was dead before anybody at the concert was even shot, and he's got compelling evidence. We invited Mindy to join us. If you follow Mindy on X, tweet it at her. You can go on to x.com at JG_CSTT, and you can see it right there. It's pinned up to the top, the X space. You just click on that, and at 3 o'clock, you can also join in and talk to John. And this is the breakthrough here. So you see, that's Jared Beck. Do people remember this? Jared told us about this, that they had a lawsuit against Donald Trump and that they deposed him, and there was some weird thing where Elizabeth was trying to use a breast pump during the deposition and Trump got all upset. Anyway, I don't know how we missed this, but you know, in all my research into the other people who are suing me and stuff like that, I found that deposition again. And Beck is asking Trump all about Felix Sater in 2013. So it's like, wait a minute. What? He's asking him about Felix Sater. And in 2013, Trump says he doesn't really know him that well. He could walk into the room right here and I wouldn't even recognize the guy. He's mostly dealing with my company. Beck is asking him how frequently he's spoken to him, et cetera, et cetera. And Trump says he really just doesn't know the guy. He's heard the name and he's aware that he's working on deals. Then they interview somebody else from the Trump organization. Well, here, let me play this for you. I have an excerpt from it.
About how many times have you conversed with Mr. Sater?
Over the years?
Over the years, if you could estimate.
Not many.
Not many.
If he were sitting in the room right now, I really wouldn't know what he looked like.
Okay. So when you say not many, I mean, can you count that on one hand?
No, I wouldn't know what to say about that because I don't know. He would call. I think he dealt mostly with my company, not with me.
Okay.
So there's Trump talking about Felix Sater, barely knows the guy. That's 2013. And there's more, there's a whole ABC News piece about it. I mean, that's obviously a long deposition. You can download the transcript and everything. But it's weird that he's asking him about Felix Sater because remember, Jared Beck, that's an attorney that was introduced to me by George Webb, who years after I realized that George was an irresponsible drunk liar and kicked him off the show and stopped dealing with him, I became friends with Jared Beck and his wife, Elizabeth. I've been to their house. We had a whole big barbecue. I slaughtered 2 of their chickens and then we cooked them. They've been to my parents' house for a barbecue in Florida. They live in Florida. I thought I was friends with them. But so Jared introduced me to John Snyder, and this didn't click at the time, but John Snyder's only client, apart from me, was Felix Sater. And remember, Snyder was representing me in this lawfare case brought about by George's brother, where he concocted a fake-named corporation that succeeded in fooling me into thinking a real corporation that I owned at the time could be liable for a judgment against this fake thing. Now, when I went and talked to an attorney, what they would have and should have said to me, even a first-year law student, anybody who's an attorney watching right now, weigh in the comments. Any attorney with a portion of a brain cell would have said, well, have you been served with this lawsuit yet? No. Oh, well, then don't do anything. Call me back when you get served. See, because the issue is that fake entity, I have now learned, cannot be served because it doesn't have an office, it isn't a person, it never existed, and it's not a real legal entity, so it can't be sued, except that I was tricked into getting into the lawsuit by Snyder. And I think there was some protect Felix Sater going on, because remember, the judge in that case, Valerie Caproni, she was the FBI general counsel from 2003 to 2011, and prior to that, she was the assistant U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of New York, where Felix Sater signed a cooperation agreement that led to a 25-year, Trump even refers to it, that he was some kind of witness for the government. It was revealed in 2019 in a FOIA put out by The Intercept that Felix Sater signed a cooperation agreement with Andrew Weissman, who took over for Valerie Caproni as the head of the Organized Crime Division in the Eastern Division of New York. 2 months after Caproni left, that deal got signed, and Felix Sater personally confirmed to me that he interacted with Caproni. He was aware of her, she was aware of the deal, she's aware of him. There's obviously no way that the head of the whole organization together being developed where Weiss, what they did on 3 as the director of the FBI. You get Robert Mueller September 4th, 2001. So they can plausibly say, oh, hey, I just got here. I didn't know anything about this. And the other guy can say, well, I've been gone for 2 or 3 months. And then the interim guy can say, I'm just the interim guy. I had nothing to do with it. So they have all these crazy, whoa, that was a weird costume. Yeah, let's face forward so people can see the insanity. It's not that much Halloween going on, to tell you the truth. I guess maybe later tonight, but it is unseasonably warm today, so there should be a lot of naked girls out later. It looks like these people hit up the crumble place, maybe, waiting in line. It looked like a cupcake, though. I thought they're selling cookies. Yeah, so anyway, what we've got there is 2013, Jared Beck talking to Trump about Felix Sater. Now, yesterday on the walk, we were looking at a video of Bruce Riedel at the Brookings Institution introducing General Flynn to talk about the same thing that upsets Valerie Caproni, all this technology that's causing the FBI to go dark. Uh-oh, this guy's about to have a little thing there. Just peeing. So it's a girl. Anyway, dogs of New York. We were just watching that video where, oh, is that Elon Musk? We were just watching that video where General Flynn goes to the Brookings Institution, and it's broadcast on the Lawfare podcast, of course, operated by Benjamin Wittes. All of these people work together. Felix Sater, you know, he's trying to get Trump to Moscow for a media event for this Trump Tower Moscow real estate investor party or whatever he's trying to put together. I allege that trip would have been used to photograph Trump entering a hotel, interview some dumb prostitute and get her to say, yeah, I pissed on the bed for Trump. Then play that evidence. Here's a weed store that is upset that they got closed. NYPD is corrupt. Adams regime corrupt. NYPD is corrupt. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Oh, look, this is the summons for weed and the hearing date. Well, they just decided, I think yesterday or the day before, that it was unconstitutional to do that. But the bigger deal is they stole the money. They just closed those places and kept their money. It's kind of wild. It's literally like gang versus gang style tactics on there. But let's just stay on this whole thing. I mean, 2013, we've got General Flynn going to the Brookings Institution and through the Lawfare podcast telling everybody how he's talking about cybersecurity and the need for more undercover operatives and more people in the field, more cybersecurity, all the kind of stuff that subsequently happened with the FBI and everybody taking over, infiltrating Twitter, taking over Facebook. I mean, that's what he's talking about. So, I don't know, it seems like as time goes on, we just keep catching these guys with their hands in the cookie jar and like unbelievable evidence of them doing sort of exactly what we've suspected them of doing forever. And then, like, see this incident with Jack Posobiec the other day. People are now sending me pictures of Jack, you know, with his hand inside his jacket, making different Masonic sort of steganographic messaging gestures. Lee has spoken to us in the past about Jack doing something with, what is it, 1188? 1488? Yeah, he had some message where he was encoding 1488. And this is like, you know, Freemason slash, you know, it's coded messaging. It's steganographic messaging. We got to talk to Lee about that and understand more about what it was that Jack was doing. Lee has been on this for a long time. We've spoken about it a lot. I said I met Jack and his wife at the Deplorable. Here's some Halloween people. And then that was right when I was getting into journalism and creating Crowdsource the Truth. Now wait a minute, the vote a key place here, it's right around here. I think it's just north of FIT. I'm not going to vote right now, obviously. I can't. Are they hitting up this homeless guy for trick-or-treat candy? Don't hit up the homeless for trick-or-treat candy. But, yeah, I'm not going to vote right now, certainly not with a camera. I just want to see if there's anything weird going on out there. So anyway, if you look at this tweet about me encountering Jack over here on 8th Avenue the other day, just look at the activity around it, people who are commenting and whatnot. So many fake named accounts recently created, just spewing out stupid crap about, oh, you're attacking Jack. I didn't attack him. And they're like, oh, you were unprepared to ask him a question. This was not a Jack Posobiec press conference, you know. And I wasn't necessarily ever planning on asking him any of those questions, nor, this guy's dressed as the Shrek cat. That's pretty good. I never necessarily even planned on asking him any of those questions. He just appeared on 8th Avenue in front of me. Then people say like, oh, that's not cool, his family is around. First of all, he said he was walking there to meet his brother. Now I've subsequently seen pictures of his brother and know who he is. I didn't know his brother was there. I don't know who he's walking to meet. And he wasn't with his family when I saw him. I just saw him. He was with his wife, but she was looking down behind him. I didn't see her. Didn't engage her in conversation. And sensible people, even if you don't know me, don't know Jack, have no particular bias in the case, they see that and they can tell he's acting crazy. Yeah, it's 80 right now. It feels like summer. Summer in October. Where is the vote a key? There it is, vote here. Here, so let's just see. Shenanigans or no? I'm not going to talk to anybody. Now, also, did people see no electioneering and no loitering, it says? It doesn't look like there is any. So that's good, at least. I think that's just people hanging around bothering people is loitering, obviously, but I'm not sure what electioneering is. I think that means handing out stuff to tell people to vote for one thing or another. So sidewalk is closed after there. There's nobody doing anything shenanigans-wise here that I can see. That just looks like an old person getting ready to leave. Interesting. Well, that's all right. Just wanted to see. Ah, now that's interesting. What is that? It's some union over there, but is it Chinese? What is that? Maybe not a union. Young Key, that's just the address, 207 209, Young Key. And then those guys are going into it's a new deli. Interesting. What the hell is going on here? Right across the street from the voting. How do I always manage to step in it? It's that symbol or writing up there. So they got an elevator shaft here. Maybe it's just a totally normal deli. They're having a sale, 50% off. Well, it doesn't look like anything unusual is going on over here near the voting thing. But I don't know, do people, I guess people know, but I don't like this early voting idea. I just feel like it's more opportunity for them to cheat. Tell them who you voted for. And then they know how many votes they're gonna need. What does she think of the assassination? Well, anyway, this is a huge development, the fact that, because what does this mean? People don't get it. Well, remember, George introduced me to Jared Beck. Jared Beck introduced me to John Snyder. John Snyder totally mishandled the case with the Emmys, causing me to lose, guaranteeing that I would lose. Now, it takes me back a bit to our conversation with Dr. Malone the other day, which, by the way, that was against YouTube community guidelines, apparently, so people can go watch that on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. You don't have to subscribe or become a member. You can just go on there at, Crowdsource the Truth. Go odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. You can watch the video. You can also watch it on X. But the great thing about Odyssey is you can become a sponsor of the show for as little as $3 a month. You keep the show going. And you can sponsor. Hey, that's a cool motorcycle, man. It's a cool motorcycle. But you got to change it to say garbage now, right? Oh, I didn't mean to bother you, dude. It's a cool motorcycle, I'm saying, but you got to change it to say garbage now, right? Hey, take care. Be safe. The guy had the deplorable motorcycle. I didn't mean to disrupt his whole helmet situation as much as I did, but that's pretty funny. See, even in New York, I don't see how they're going to sell it that Kamala Harris is going to win. I just don't buy it. Guy just looks like a moving company guy. Yeah, he's a construction worker or something. But George introduces me to Jared Beck. Beck introduces me to Snyder. It's George's brother who sets up the lawsuit. I mean, this is unbelievable. So, right, it takes me back to the conversation with Dr. Malone. Because remember, when he spoke to us the other day, John Cullen and I had an interview with Dr. Malone. He volunteered that he was pissed off with Stephen Biss. First time I spoke to him about Stephen Biss, he said, "Oh, I don't know, Jason. Stephen Biss is my lawyer. He's doing all right. I'm not worried about George Webb. Thanks for calling." But see, I discussed this yesterday. Perhaps Dr. Malone has now realized that maybe Stephen Biss was not so honest after all. And maybe he thought back to that phone call we had and said, well, maybe Jason was trying to help me. Anyway, I hope we get to speak to Dr. Malone again. I spoke yesterday about this whole dust-up with Dr. Ruby, and that's what got me. Can you do me a favor and not ride that on the sidewalk, please? It's discourteous, it's illegal, it's dangerous, you little fuck! Even when you're polite with people. See, it starts out polite. Anyway, This is what they do, you see. They trick people into lawsuits. Snyder benefits, he got dozens of thousands of dollars from me, made me almost broke. Same thing seems to have happened to Dr. Malone. So see, that's why I had initially contacted him. For me, COVID, I'm not saying I'm not interested in it. Well, that's a hell of a Halloween costume. But why is the dude hanging like he's got this big Halloween costume and he's just like tucked in there? Go flaunt it, huh? Yeah. You got the gear. I don't understand. The point I'm getting at is this is obviously a Lawfare crew. Felix Sater, remember when, General Flynn freaked out when I was asking Andrew Weissman about Felix Sater. Do people remember this?
Okay, it's your time to ask us questions, and let me just remind you to go to the microphone so everyone can hear you. Yes?
First, I want to thank the panel for allowing us all to sit in on this very interesting podcast conversation. I have a question for Professor Weissman. Democrats in Congress, specifically John Conyers, admonished your predecessor at the FBI. John Conyers said she broke the law with the national security letters, violating the Fourth Amendment. Can you tell us, did the members of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence know of your secret 25-year relationship with the intelligence asset Felix Sater when he testified in 2017?
So I don't know Felix Sater.
Really? You signed an agreement with him in 1998 and another one in 2017. It was released in 2019 by The Intercept. Why are you lying to these NYU students, Professor Weissman?
Okay, well, I don't know Felix
You
Sater.
personally recommended to Robert Mueller. You said in your book.
Sir,
that
he's
you
answered your
personally
question.
You said he lied. He said he doesn't know Felix Sater. Read the book
He's
that this
answered your
man
question,
wrote.
so I'm going to ask you
He
to
said that he told Robert Mueller to bring in Felix Sater. Felix Sater is the Russian developer of Trump Tower Moscow. I think you planted an intelligence asset to testify against the rightly elected 45th president of the United States. You, sir, are a fraud. You should be in jail, Andrew Weissman. I'm an alumni.
Next question.
Ask him questions about this, students. This is what we need to know about. Disgraceful.
Next
so I
question.
also want to thank the panel.
Moving on. The risk of taking questions.
You know what? This is a good example of like free speech.
That's right.
Seriously, people. And just to be clear, this really is a good example of free speech. People should be able to say what they want,
Totally.
have their views, and they're doing it peacefully.
Yep.
We
wouldn't stop
know
someone,
that.
just to be clear, I don't speak for the institution and its policies now, but we wouldn't stop someone like from asking a question. We would draw the line when it starts to disrupt the overall gathering, right? So when you say a question.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they wouldn't stop a person from asking a question. They just draw the line at answering it truthfully. That would be absurd. You can't do that. But look at how they laugh at freedom of speech. These are not my views. These are facts. He lied and said that he doesn't know Felix Sater when, in fact, he signed 2 agreements with Felix Sater, mentioned him in his book 11 times, brought him in to testify, and it seems like, I don't know, they were almost surveilling Donald Trump. What were they doing with Felix Sater in 2013? This is not as simple as Donald Trump just decided to run for president and they wanted to stop him from being president, so they did the Piss dossier. This was obviously in development long before that. So why is that? You know, I don't think we've ever seen, at least I've never been aware of, a more complicated effort to nail somebody for this long than what they're doing to Trump. Although, I guess maybe me, I'm not as rich as Trump. I mean, mine's only been going on for 8 years. But is this what the FBI does? They just find individuals who are standing in way of their money stealing plans? Or, I mean, what was Trump doing in 2013 that they wanted Felix Sater on him? Felix Sater has now admitted, it's been admitted, that for 25 years he was DIA. He corrected me and said DIA when I said he was an FBI asset. Felix said, no, he's DIA. He seems to be all of the above, but it's just super interesting that Michael Flynn is the head of the DIA. He's there at the Brookings Institution making all kinds of speeches for the Lawfare podcast about, you know, the need for cyber this and that, right at the same time that Jared Beck is deposing Trump about Felix Sater. And Trump says he doesn't know Felix Sater that well. Somehow Felix Sater gets closer to Trump in the subsequent 3 years, because all this business with Michael Cohen, that's Felix Sater emailing Michael Cohen saying, hey, let's get Trump to Moscow for this tower. Could you get that off the sidewalk, please?
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, fuck you, asshole! Get your fucking bicycle off the sidewalk!
What the fuck, bitch?
Fuck off, assaulting motherfucker! You ride a goddamn bicycle on the sidewalk! I don't give a fuck where you're going, you asshole! Back the fuck up, you motherfucker! How am I racist? You're breaking the law and assaulting me, you fucking cunt! What's your name, bitch?
Go the fuck away from me, you dumb asshole!
You just assaulted me! He assaulted me! Don't defend him! He's breaking the law! Riding a bicycle on the sidewalk! Don't let this motherfucker in the store! What's your name, bitch?
You're spitting all out of your mouth! You got rabies and shit, bro.
You trying to throw shit at me? You fat bitch! You fucking fat bitch! You just throw that at me? The fuck is the matter with you? Fucking bitch! Thanks for watching, everybody. What are you laughing at, shithead? Where do you work? You look like you belong in a mental hospital. That's New York. Assault left and right. People are going to say, oh, you should have hit that guy. I'd go to jail.